Hold on. I'm gonna send you an invite.
Okay, yeah, I got something. Let's see. Start my video. There we go.
Damn.
There's my sexy face.
Hey, boy, what are you doing?
Man, not a lot. How are you?
Good, dude. It's good to see you.
Man, it's been too long.
Dude, I know, man. I've stayed super busy the last for I don't know, since we saw each other last.
Oh, I know. Yeah. You're staying busy with the podcast, but just in general, it's been too long. I ain't been up there to train with you.
Yeah, we'll come up anytime, man. We'll get some balls on.
Yeah.
And I need to come see you guys too, honestly. I'm off. I'm not teaching this summer. I taught the last 2 summers, so that'll be nice. And I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to teach more online classes. I'm starting to teach online classes for the first time. That's freeing up some time. So, and we got the gym move accomplished. So that's all things that, like, man, that all of the, like, working extra class loads, teaching, so that's all things that have really occupied a lot of my time. And now I don't have all that shit going on to deal with. So
there you go.
Yeah. Well, what's new with you, dude? What have you been doing?
Man, I'd started, and I'd signed up for a couple Jiu Jitsu tournaments. I'd signed up for the Dallas Open. I was going to do that.
When was that supposed to be?
That was April 27th, 28th. I was actually going to venture out of my comfort zone and try to do no gi because, you know me, I usually like to stick with the gi on. So I had that plan, but I was also and I hadn't signed up yet because I hadn't opened up registration, but I'd actually bought my plane ticket to Vegas for Worlds. And, I don't – looks like that probably won't happen. Plus, I don't know if you know this, but I did just have surgery on the elbow there. If you can.
Oh, what? No, I mean, I saw you post a picture.
Yeah.
But what was that? Ulnar nerve impingement, or what'd you have?
Yeah, the cubital tunnel, and they did carpal at the same time. You can see right there where they went in the palm of my hand and stuff.
Shit, dude, I've got carpal tunnel on my right hand. It's a son of a bitch. What were your symptoms of carpal tunnel in your hand?
Man, it got to the point where I couldn't even write. I'd go do this, and my finger would just start shaking like that. And then you see this pinky right here. That's as far as it goes. And I went to my family physician and said, "Hey, man, yeah, you got the same thing going on there." But I'd lost a lot of muscle in the hand and stuff. Like I'd be opening up bottles, and sometimes, I'm 6'4", 300 pounds, and I have to ask someone else to open a bottle for me. You know what I'm saying? It gets a little embarrassing. So. Yeah, but there was that because I went into the doctor thinking, all right, we're going to talk. They're going to schedule carpal tunnel down the line. My family physician said that I'd broken that pinky and it healed back that way. And, I played college football, pro wrestle, do jiu-jitsu as my hobby. I could have broken this pinky at any time and not even noticed I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But he got in there and he started shaking. Before I even got it out of my mouth, he's like, no, the orthopedic's like, no. He goes, here's what you got. So they did the nerve study and all that, and did the schedule.
How long ago has that been? How's your recovery been?
It's about 3-4 weeks ago. I've been out. I was in a sling, had it immobilized for a couple weeks, had my stitches in. So I've been out of the stitches for a couple weeks. They said probably about another 3 weeks before I can train again. Whenever we get that, and, I'll come in, take it slow, watch my arm, be careful, be selective with your training partners. When we get to mine and your rank, of course, you outrank me. When we get to our rank, we kind of get that privilege of, no, you're too wild, young buck. Go over there. I'm gonna train with my group.
It is nice. We've just recently and have good participation so far, have added advanced classes.
Yeah.
Right, like an advanced no-gi, and then we have like a blue belt and up, like just a rolling session on Friday afternoons, and we'll let white belts come that are like 4 tips or something. They're like on the cusp that are not going to be some spazzy or get frustrated and quit. But man, we added on like extra at the end of all our evening classes too. So we just do like a fundamentals class. with situational rolling, but then free roll after that.
Yeah.
And that's like the free roll portion is where all the, all the higher ranked dudes stay. Usually is that other classes getting going, like kickboxing or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and other than that, I did, and me and you talked about this, and I said, hey, if we do this, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, I'm forcing the segue, Brian.
All right, let's do it.
I made my pro wrestling comeback.
What? So did you have a match, or did you have a match that was canceled?
No, I had a match.
Okay, I thought I saw some videos.
Yeah. I sent you the match. I did.
Okay, yeah.
And I grew up a big pro wrestling fan. It was like my favorite. When everybody else is watching Scooby-Doo and stuff on Scooby-Doo, I'd be watching wrestling, and my son actually got that for me. And so, and I did it right after. Before I did Jiu Jitsu, I started doing pro wrestling. So I wanted to do one more match for him, and then it segued into we were going to do a big storyline because I helped train this kid. And so I'd done commentary, and I jumped him afterwards, locked in a rear naked choke, and I hadn't pro wrestled in a while, and I accidentally about choked him unconscious. I had it locked in. He's like, bro, ease up. I'd already eased up because he couldn't talk because, I had my arm around his neck, was choking the crap out of him. He's like, bro, ease up. I go, and then me and him had a match. We had a really good match considering I hadn't wrestled a match in 10 years. I think Chris's back hurt afterwards because he had to carry me through it. But
where's the link? Is it this video that you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. No, okay, so I got a 7-second video from you.
Was it? I thought it should have been a YouTube link.
Okay, no, I don't have a link.
Let me see. Are you looking in your messenger?
I'm looking on Facebook Messenger. Yeah. I see. But you might have texted it to me. Go ahead and shoot me the link on Messenger, and I'll open it up on Facebook Messenger. I'll screen share it, and you can provide the breakdown, bro.
There we go. All right, I'm resending it to you.
All right, cool.
Should be on its way to you. This is riveting stuff, Brian.
Very riveting. Okay. I think you might have texted it to me, and I opened it up there. All right. Let me go screen share here. Google Chrome.
Oh, there we go. There it is. 13 minutes.
All right. Do you want me to mute it, and you're gonna give us the voiceover?
We can. I mean, you tell me whatever you think.
If we ever need to bring it in for dramatic effect, you just let me know.
And for those of you that can't hear, I did walk out to Aerosmith back in the saddle again, because I was in fact back in the saddle again.
So when was your first pro wrestling endeavor? When did you first?
Man, fresh out of college, I was probably about 22, 23. And I went to, and I kept doing that until I hurt my shoulder. And it kind of bothered me because I hurt my shoulder, but I wasn't ready to walk away. Look at it. The camera adds about 10 pounds there. I'm trying to look mad, even though, I'm not mad at all. I'm probably a little bit more nervous. I wasn't going to shake anybody's hand. I'm like, God, it's been too long.
So where is this at, Conway?
This is at Tuckerman, Arkansas.
Okay, what part of, I don't know, but I teach Arkansas.
It's pretty much it's close to Jonesboro, outside Newport.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot there. And I don't know if you can tell, there's literally people hanging from the rafters here.
We are 1 minute and 7 seconds into Kid Crazy versus Colton Cash on YouTube.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, we got a fan here. We got a young fan here on the rails.
Yeah. Oh.
So who's this schmuck coming out here to fight you, dude?
His Kid Crazy's his name. I helped train him back in the day. I mean, he's super talented, probably the most successful out of everybody we trained. I like his Tupac shirt. Yeah, that was a pretty cool Tupac shirt. And this son gun's crazy because you'll see it when he takes his shirt off. He just got like a gigantic Kid Crazy tattooed on his chest earlier that week. He's just like, bro, don't chop me in the chest. I'm killing kayfabe here, aren't I, Brian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
What? So, Did you just know that he was doing this and you got kind of linked up and you guys put it together like you're saying?
Yeah, I messaged him and said, dude, I'd love to do something. If you ever wanted to, wrestle match, there's my son right there. That's the reason I was doing it. I told my son, like, you can't cheer for me. You can't cheer for me. He's like, all right. He had no problem booing me.
Yeah, so, for sure.
And it takes forever, these fans.
Man, there used to be like little shows like this, I feel like all over the place, and there still are some like I've seen, but like I remember when I was a kid, we had one that like in the Walmart parking lot, and that was like a big thing. Like everybody in the town came to it,
Yeah. And I tell you, I was really, because when we did the first one, whenever I kind of jumped him after the match, I was really nervous because I basically sit at the commentator's table the entire show. And, man, I was really surprised with how talented everybody was. Like, I really was. I mean, the talent that they had up there was crazy good.
What are you saying to him right there, bro? You look like you're talking a little shit.
I'm just telling the referee to keep him back. Keep him back. I think I'm telling him he's too little, stuff like that, talking a little bit of junk.
He's got very baggy trunks on, bro. Those are like some Jinko wrestling shorts.
Yeah, I don't know where he got those. The idea was to go to a big blow-off show at their anniversary show, which is supposed to be April the 4th. This is probably closer to the beginning of March.
Ooh, right on the cusp of the corona, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this was right before it, because we were supposed to do this match, then we we're going to do a tag match, and then with two other guys, and then we were going to do the big blow-off show. And now we had an entire opening. Sequence worked out here, and it totally goes out the window because I see if I can test out the ropes. He gets the crowd to start telling me I suck here, and I don't like that very much.
Bro, you need to slap that new tattoo. Show him how you feel.
I do. And I tell the referee here, that's my brother that's refereeing. That's Paul.
Oh, really? Refereeing. That's like your real life brother?
That's my real life brother. He calls me by my real name, says, if you don't stop telling Clint he sucks, he's leaving. And so, of course, they start telling me I suck more. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to leave. And then, Chris reads it perfectly like he should. And he's about to we ain't off to the races yet, but right now, there we go. We're off to the races now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Jump through the ropes.
And right there, I've been trying to pinpoint it, and while my jaw hurt forever, his head hit me right there at the beginning of the match. Caught me right in the jaw. So, like, for the next week, I was like, oh, man, I don't know why my jaw hurts.
Hey, that's some pretty good fake punching you did there, bro.
Well, there's not a lot of fake to that. I just clubbed him across the back. Chris will tell you he loves working with me because me and him always have a good match, but he's like, he goes, you are stiff.
So I'm just wrestling here, Rev. What's it?
Yeah, just having fun. And it's weird for me because I'm trying to come across as a more, badass MMA, Jiu Jitsu fighter type thing. And I'd always been more about the comedy side of it. So this was it was a different version of myself wrestling.
Oh, wow. A backflip cartwheel kick.
Yep.
Bro, I thought you were the MMA fighter. This dude's tie kicking the shit out of you right now. Choke slam, the giant.
Yep. He gets up there for me pretty good. Yeah, and I told him, because he's wearing kick pads, and, I'm used to, and I've done some sparring. I haven't done a lot. But I told him, I said, man, just lay them in. I'd rather you lay them in and they look good than, fake kick me.
What's your favorite WCW era wrestler of all time?
Oh, man, it's Sting.
Sting? Oh, nice. All the way.
I pay my tribute to the Godfather right here.
What's on your shirt?
And Nicole from Gravitas, she's got like an on garment printer, however you call it, a direct to garment printer.
Yeah. And
so that shirt is literally a picture of me having him in a rear naked choke when I jumped him out.
That's funny.
And right here, I had a killer spot for a rear naked choke, and I was going to use it for the tag match or later on. And I didn't know if we could do it where you held them in a rear naked choke and they do a back row out of the choke and then goes for a pin. I'm like, I don't know if you can do it or not. And then Becky Lynch used it in WrestleMania and actually finished the match with it. But I come up with it first, so I should sue Vince or something.
Bro, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I have not. I want to see it.
Not to do any spoilers, but at one point in the movie, one of the characters grabs another one of the characters and starts slamming their head on like all this different shit. Just like boom, boom, boom. There's like repeatedly, and it's such an awesome Tarantino-esque sequence, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you see my son's over there loving me getting the crap kicked out of me in that bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
He was so excited. He had fun. They did a battle royal at the end of it, and I talked a little trash to him, and he really liked that. He goes out there and jumps on me again. But, you know, for what it was, for a guy that hadn't had a match in 10 years, I thought we did a good job.
And this is before your elbow surgery?
This was before my elbow. I low blowed him right here, and I had to, you know, and I realized I should have been DQ'd, so I was like, I hit him in the inner thigh. Yeah, that was before the elbow surgery. I didn't even have it. I didn't even know I was having that issue. And then,
yeah, you know, I've had issues with my elbows on and off over the years, but I don't know. They've gotten better. I'll tell you, like I've just had to do stuff for them, like treat them, topical, hanging, not over abusing them, tapping early to arm bars.
yeah.
I mean, there's just not getting put in arm bars. That's always a positive.
Well, you know how I am too. I mean, I can usually stack my way out of an arm bar. So, I mean, I'll lay it out there, but go ahead, take it, and then I'll get out of it.
You know, statistically, arm bars aren't a super high percentage move for me, honestly. Oh, no.
No, they're not. I rarely go for them. They look cute right there, Donna Brown.
That was beautiful. Oh, yeah. A very good character there. What is the name of your character here?
It is Colton Cash.
Colton Cash. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was driving past a Colton Steakhouse sign, and I came up with that name.
There you go.
That's literally how I came up with it. Now, this is a pretty good jiu-jitsu sequence that me and him come up with right here. Me and him had got together and worked on it.
I'll put him in the triangle arm bar there when he falls over.
Yep. Here.
There you go.
There you go. Roll into the pin.
Oh, wow. A fine drop kick of sorts.
Yeah, stop me on the chest.
Oh, dude, he's getting up from the top rope. We're 10 minutes in, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, it's one of those fights where you slam the guy and you knock yourself out. I saw a street fight just like that on YouTube today.
I punched him in the gut. That wasn't supposed to be a low blow there.
Ooh, dude, back foot, bro.
Big Van Vader.
Oh, man, he kicked you as you were doing that?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about, like, how far is this out of, like fight choreography you see in the movies? Like, what would you say the biggest difference?
It's pretty close. I mean, and that's why, and the segue is, you know, WWE right now, they're doing the empty arena shows. And, man, I got crazy respect for them guys that are doing that, because everything that we're doing here is you're playing off the crowd. You want the crowd to feel what you're doing. It's not like UFC. UFC, it's a fight. You go out there, you fight. It don't matter if there's 20,000 people there, nobody there.
Oh, bro, he knocked out your bro, man. You just going to let him do that? He's taking out your whole family now? He's going to go for your son next?
I may. If he wants to. But that was the finish we'd worked out. But yeah, but man, it'd be so hard without the crowd there.
Oh, I know, right?
You're playing off the crowd. Fight choreography, you've got a place you want to get to, but here you're trying to take them on a journey and tell them a story.
You know, and I will say, like, with teaching classes for like,
hey, right here, Brian, I go over. I get the big W. right there.
Nice.
Tombstone pile driver.
Big, like, why isn't your wrestling name Big Sexy?
I think too many people would associate that I stole it from Kevin Nash because he did the big sexy, the giant killer gimmick.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Is that where you got it from, bro? Or did you just like? I've just always known you as Big Sexy. I didn't even correlate the two.
I think I stole it from him.
Oh, bro, you calling out a fan right now?
I'm telling the announcer to announce me as the winner again.
Oh, set him up in a little triangle.
Little triangle. They want me to choke him after the match, and somebody else had used the rear naked. So, being disrespectful, we're turning to a text. Give me 1 second.
You're fine, dude. You're fine.
Yeah, but man, that was the match. I was actually, we got to the back, and everybody's, that was your first match in 10 years. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't bad.
Well, yeah, dude. Have you been doing any other training other than jiu-jitsu, like in terms of kickboxing and stuff anymore?
No, I mean, I've been focusing. I got hooked up there in Conway with Cisco, Francisco Joseph, who was a heavyweight on the Central Baptist College wrestling team.
Nice.
And that changed my world because you look at the guys that I consider myself a really, really good brown belt tournament competitor. Really good. There's Mark. I'd butcher his last name if I say it, but Mark's been wrestling for 30 years. He's really good. I'm 0-2 versus Mark. Mark just got his black belt, so he's out of my division for a while. Then John McCown, who I'm 0-3 against. Man, I needed something to kind of hang with those guys, and so I started wrestling and hoping it'd make a difference. I still haven't beat them, but I'm hoping to get there one of these days.
Dude, I just got a notification. Have you heard how Joe Rogan is leaving YouTube?
I did hear that. He's going officially to Spotify.
They paid him $100 million. $100 million.
If somebody paid you that much money, you'd be exclusively to Vagisil.com. I don't care.
He never has to. Well, I mean, he probably never had to work again before that deal, but that's huge for his podcast. I will say, man, I get a little more traction on YouTube with the gym videos, and I do the podcast. Like I have a lot of videos with more than 500 views on the gym YouTube, but I have less than half of that many for the podcast, but I only have like 130 episodes of the podcast, whereas I have like 650 gym videos out there.
And that's been nice because, my son lives with my ex-wife in Fort Smith, and he goes to Thompson's.
Oh, great.
So he's been doing a lot of the online, the YouTube videos, the movement drills. And I know enough that if I'm here with him, I can say, no, that's not how you throw a jab.
I'll tell you what's a great thing to be working on right now is like the Superfoot system stuff, like the side kick, hook kick, ground kick development, because it's something you can do and develop without a partner. You can easily add the basics. Like Bill Wallace's shit is so good. And there's he has so many seminars out there on YouTube. Drink's coming on to do an episode just about Superfoot next Wednesday, I believe it is.
No, that'd be good.
Hey, check out who I've got coming on the cast. I'm working out a time with Jason Scully. You know who that is?
I've heard the name.
He's the guy. It's like, here's 108 leg locks in less than 8 minutes. Okay, what I'm doing here is when they do this, I do that. Well, he's that guy on YouTube.
Right.
He's got this big member website that I believe Johnny's got to log into called the Grappler's Guide. But he's got tons of videos like that. I'm working. But also, are you familiar with that YouTube channel, Submissions 101?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Hey, the guy that started that channel is coming on. It's got like 57 million views.
Yeah. What's crazy is used to, when me and you were probably white belts, blue belts, you kind of made fun of people who tried to learn crap on YouTube. You really would. I mean, I was at the New York Open one year. I don't know if it was the year I won it, but I did win the New York Open. I wasn't sure if you knew that.
East Coast champ.
King of the East Coast. But there was a guy that had a T-shirt that says, your jiu-jitsu, your YouTube moves are no good here, or something like that. But actually, when I did Master Worlds and I won my first match, I actually won it with a move. I won it with a move that I learned on YouTube. I won it with a clock choke from Turtle. I got that from the Machado brothers on YouTube.
I'll tell you, who had good clock choke details is Hobson. I learned the clock choke from Turtle from Hobson, and a couple of good entries to it where it's like you set it up on the transition. So, and then too, I'll tell you another person, Lloyd Irvin has a really good video out there on the clock choke. But man, it was through competing that I learned. Because like when I was competing, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pick like jiu-jitsu people I like Kurt Osiander, and I'm gonna watch them teach their moves, So I was always like looking at jiu-jitsu in that light. I was always watching rolled ups and then competition matches and working on my drill chart and mind maps and shit. But I noticed like one time I was at Worlds and I did a move in one of my matches that I just recently seen. And I was like, I just recently seen it like on the plane ride there or something. It was like Kurt Osiander's move of the week from like a few weeks earlier or something. And I did it, and I was like, but like someone had told me previously, they're like, look, 2 weeks out, you're not going to learn anything during that time period that you're going to do in the match. And like through competing, I learned that's like, man, I might learn something that morning I do in the match, and I've learned so many things from videos, and now shit, dude, I'm doing video private lessons with people, not me myself, but rather like Jack. I was like, hey, Jack was doing private lesson with me. I did 3 with him since we've been on quarantine. It's changed my game, dude, because I'm like sitting there doing his techniques, but he's in LA locked down. I'm not going to be able to fly him in for a while. It was, let's say even I was planning on having him in over the summer, but I still get to learn from him. I'm about to start doing that with like other instructors too.
Man, because that New York Open that I won, I remember I lost in the semis of the absolute division to the guy that won it. I remember he called me with some choke. He said, he goes, yeah, I just learned it that weekend he went to some seminar that week in New York and catch him with the choke that he just learned. So
how many times have you done the New York Open? 3 times?
I've done the New York Open 3 times. I've done the no-gi pans, which is in New York, once. Which, whenever you finally – and I always feel like whenever you go to a tournament and you finally win a match at a new rank, that's kind of validation that you belong.
Yeah.
And, and I'd
twice at purple, once at brown. Is that what you?
Let's see. I only went once at purple. I went 3. I went 3 at blue.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But you got to keep in mind, I was and I'd went through my divorce and I'd been hurt a few times at blue. Like I was a 3.5-year, 3-tip blue belt. But I went right after, I'd moved back to Arkansas and did the New York Open, and I had no business going. I was mentally checked out, wasn't in the shape I needed to be to compete at that level. Mm-hmm. And I swore after that, I'm like, I'm never going to put myself in this position again. Like if I'm going to go train, I'm going to do right. And that's part of the reason I like to compete so much is because in my head, I like, okay, I got to keep ready for this. I got to keep ready for this. I got to keep ready for this. And the same thing, I did, the last time I did was last July, and I did the Austin Open. And the 2 guys I was telling you, it was a 4-man bracket. It was me, Mark, who's won the worlds at purple belt, was no-gi world champion. Then John, who I'm 0-3 against. He knocked me out of worlds. Both super talented guys. And some other guy I'd never heard of. And they ended up putting John and Mark against each other. So I was like, Thank you, IBJJF. And then so I ended up winning my first match against this guy. Was a Bruno Bastos brown belt, so he was a legit guy. And I remember I posted, so I got second in that tournament. Johnny actually called out to me with like 10. I'm up. It's 0, 2 advantages, 0 versus 0, 0, 0. 10 seconds left in the match. I've got side control, so Big Daddy's on cruise control. I'm like, I'm not moving. if you get it from here, if you get me in these last 10 seconds, you get me. Johnny yelled out, knee on belly. I looked at him and just went, no, I'm not doing that.
We're good.
we're good. Like, we're good. No, I'm not doing that. So later on that night, I posted, you got to post it on Facebook. And I was like, look, I got second in a super stacked division. And I don't know why. I think I wanted to go eat barbecue, so I didn't do absolute that night. Because we were all like, let's go to Terry Black's barbecue. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. Let's go.
That's great.
And so, some of the best brisket I'd ever had. So we went to Tech, and so John commented on my Facebook post like, hey, by the way, I beat the guy you beat faster than you did. I'm like, I don't care. I was like, I still got the silver, baby.
So, man, have you still been exercising and everything? I know for like a good while you were posting up in the fitness center all the time. I know the fitness centers have been closed.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of walking. I mean, I ain't going over, and I was actually thinking, just mostly walking. I mean, I haven't been like hitting the bleachers and stuff like I should have. Of course, part of it is that I've had surgery there for about 2 weeks. I was just freaking miserable. Now I'm starting to, finally feel more like myself, get range of motion in my arm. I need to start going to the gym doing what I can. Like, there's no reason I can't go do leg day and just do cardio every day.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I'm sure that'll help. Like, once you can start moving, like this stage of the game on your recovery, like hitting the elliptical and stuff, I'm sure that'll help your process move along even.
Yeah. And one of the things that, I was really happy that Chris Casey told me about, he's like, man, me and him went and worked out. Like, dude, this mofo got a gas tank now. And I was like, yeah. I said, I'll be 44 next month.
Wow.
But there's not many, you show me many 43-year-olds that can do what I do, on a daily basis.
That's good, dude. And it's good. That's like, like you were talking a minute ago, I've been trying to talk to everybody I can about this, like my perspective on it. But like that sort of tournament mindset of, oh man, I gotta stay healthy for this day, right? I got this tournament coming up and it's in 6 weeks and I should be healthy for that tournament. And I should recover and I should train hard, but recover, but I should be this that was always me, dude. It was like early on when I first started competing in MMA. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to do all this cardio. I'm going to do all these push-ups and I'm going to do all this training and I'm going to go compete. I'm going to do it again. And it was all for the competition. It was never for my personal health and wellness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember me and you had that conversation. You felt like you were doing it more for other people than you were yourself.
That too, and for like, okay, I want to get this experience to pass on. And, I felt like some sort of weird sense of obligation to compete a lot. But in hindsight, now I'm just like running a lot, doing a lot of cardio, rowing, hitting the machines, weights, just doing everything I can do. Like I ran a mile backwards the other day. That sucked. But it's I'm not doing it for a competition. I'm doing it to feel good.
Yeah. Well, and see, and that's just, and I do it for the same reason you do. I do the competitions because I know, because me being a lazy individual, I know like, hey, if I don't have something to look forward to, if I don't have something to push me.
Yeah, and that's something too. Yeah. And it's because too, there's definitely some like sort of weird added pressure being a coach. Like I saw somebody commenting on it the other day and was like basically talking shit about coaches not competing because they have some like students competing at the events. And I'm like, motherfucker, I have had 30 students compete at an AGF I competed at, and that shit was terrible.
Well, and I, and I enjoy refereeing tournaments too. And a lot of them referees, I know, Kevin Williams does it all the time.
Hey, he was just on the podcast. His episode comes out either later today or early tomorrow.
It'd probably be a good one. But I mean,
It is.
when you look at Kevin and Flacco, who actually he beat me in Oklahoma one time at purple belt at an AGF. But like both them guys can referee all day. I mean, all day, and that wears you out. And I know coaching too, because I've coached 5 or 6 students. By the time you're running all around coaching students, you're worn out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you could have like Mat 1, and then your next student's over them like Mat 9. So you've got to get all the way over there, and you're stressed like, hey, John's competing on Mat 1. I'm trying to keep an eye on Mat 1. Elaine's going on Mat 8. You know, you got to get over there.
Well, and then too, the schedule of the event of like, hey, we got kids division starting at 8. And then, you know, you're not competing until noon, 1 o'clock in your first division. You got a bunch of hurry up and wait. I would always have to leave the bullpen, or not the bullpen, the actual staging sometimes. Like when I was like between matches, I would go coach Cora or somebody. Then I would go back in and I would have a match. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. But I'm glad I did all that. And here's the thing. I'm not even going to rule out competing again. I've actually thought about it more and more, like the healthier that I've got over the last several months. But if I do, it'll be something I do just for fun, you know, and I'll do it and I'll try and win, you know. It's not that I'm just like, oh, you know, I'm just going to go have fun, but it's like, it's not going to be, I'm going to go do this because I got these big lofty goals and I'm trying to get gold medals, clean out the division. It's like, nah, man, I'm just trying to go win some matches, do my jiu-jitsu, not get submitted, not get beat. But just like that whole mental pressure that I think that you can put on yourself when you're competing a lot, that all of the grind, the injury, that's what I don't miss. But like, it is a lot of fun. Right.
Yeah, no. I'd really enjoyed it. And I've never gotten hurt, knock on wood, in a tournament. I mean, I've had my arm sore for a few days afterwards. Because, you know, I did that super fight in Memphis for Sub Hunter Pro. And I was like, you know, so I did that. And I remember I went in, you know, worked my wrestling pretty hard up before the tournament, went in, had the snatch single. I mean, if you can look at the picture, you know, there's a picture. I had my hands around the dude's leg. I'm like, oh, I don't have this. I let it go. I didn't have confidence that I had it. And next thing I knew, you know, and this dude looked like Kimbo Slice on steroids. He drugged my big butt down to the mat. I was like, you just lay there. And I'm like, okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir. He camored me, and man, he walked up to me afterwards, or Americana'd me, I'm sorry. And because even Dring said, he goes, your elbow was like here, and you watched him, you let it get to about right here, not even thinking about it, and he just went. And then he had it. And somebody that big, strong gets on your arm, it's.
You ever finish an Americana like imagine somebody has you in an arm over choke, right? Like your arms here, and they telephone. So like you got me in it, and I'm telephoning, right? Mm-hmm. And you grab my you put your head right here, and you like, boom, you grab my wrist and you pull it out like that. But it's from the arm triangle.
No, I've never tried that.
I learned that from Mikey, Mike Page from Inferno. But you just be down on that arm triangle, and they telephone. You put your head on the end of their elbow, and you just ratch that Americana.
Yeah, and you know, and Americanas, you know, I think just most of your big guys, you get a big white belt that comes in the gym. My build, what's the first submission you teach them? Usually the Americana. You know what I mean? Because it's easy. And man, I've won a couple major tournaments with Americana. Lost the super fight at brown belt to an Americana. So I mean, it's like, you know, my game's not. I mean, you've rolled with me several times. My game's not incredibly fancy.
Yeah, one case I always like to cite is fucking John Jones versus Vitor Belfort. Right. John Jones, Jiu-Jitsu white belt, passes Vitor Belfort's guard after that armbar happened, and Vitor Belfort is a black belt world champion. He was submitted with that move by John Jones, a white belt MMA fighter.
Well, I mean, you know, me and you both rolled enough times. You know, you take a chance when you roll against somebody less ranked than you, getting humiliated. You know, I I got armbarred at brown belt by a zero-tip white belt. I mean, I let him get me in a position, and I was like, choke, I'll darn near go out unconscious before I tap. I mean, I'll tap. I'm not going to go out, but arm bars are a little bit different. You're just like, okay, let's see. Like, there's no way he's going to finish this. I'm Clint Clark. I'm a brown belt, 4-time IBJJF. Okay, yeah, you got it.
I do. I will let people put me in bed. That's something I probably got from training with Willie. Like I used to, and everybody has things. Like I go through like some mental like hangups or some word or whatever. But the willingness to put yourself in a bad spot will further your development. Like yesterday, and this week when I was rolling. Because I am rolling, dude. I'm breaking the fucking law down here in Russellville.
Outlaw.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu outlaw, dude. But I've put myself in bad spots. I was like, hey, put me in side mount, turtle. Because man, I just like, if we were free rolling, that's what I did. And then we just like, man, we've really been up in our situational roles in class a lot. So either do the EBI like back or spider web or whatever we do in class.
Well, one thing, I had a guy that started class. He hadn't been going very long. He's like, man, is that your game? Do you just sit on your butt and tell everybody to come? I'm like, no, my game's to get on top of you and squash you. But look at everybody in this room and look at me. Yeah. I'm really saying, I said, if I wanted to, pick you up and put you on your back, I probably can. Not trying to brag. I mean, there's guys stronger than me out there, get your Adam Settles of the world.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I'm usually the biggest guy in the room. This is what it is. Like if I'm rolling against Aaron Myra or Ben Caldwell, a couple of the smaller guys at the gym, I can outmuscle them every day of the week. I just can't. So I always, start on my back, and then I try to, and then just try to get out, like you said, work that bad position. But if I just go in there and lay in side control for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, however long the roll is, they're not going to learn anything. I'm not going to learn anything. It's just no good for any of us. I mean, I like the guys like yourself, Johnny, both them guys, for example, that make me move. That make me work for 5 minutes. I want to come out of a roll looking sweaty, and it won't be hard here in about another month when I can go again because I'll be out of jiu-jitsu shape.
I roll like when I roll with McMillan, for example, right? Yeah. So like he's I think you've probably rolled with him before, judo black belt, and he's purple belt jiu-jitsu now, but he teaches a bunch of the morning classes, our Project Warrior, our nonprofit class. Anyway, but like when I roll with him, I definitely transition on him a lot to encourage him to move. And like, too, here's another thing, dude. I'm talking about this with people. Like, after I stopped competing, I was still doing jiu-jitsu. I was still rolling when I was healthy, and I was there for a while. I was having a super bad problem with my hip and like some nerve impingement, which I honestly, after seeing a specialist, think was ultimately to do with my neck. Yeah. As odd as it sounds. But anyway, I got super unhealthy training jiu-jitsu like every day, like rolling a little bit every day, teaching classes. And I see that happen to some people because they don't have like a exercise routine out of the gym, to where it's just like you can get to a point where if you don't force yourself to move, you will not get everybody's like, do jiu-jitsu, it's great fitness and exercise. Yeah, to an extent, but you can get to a place where you roll where you don't get as much out of it, or when you do get a lot out of it, you get fucking injured. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you look at different types of the jiu-jitsu, it depends on what kind of calories you burn. If you go in there, if you got a teenager that mom and dad's forcing them to come, they don't want to be there, they go do the drills, and then they just pretty much just curl up in the fetal position and roll. They'll burn absolutely no calories.
Yeah.
Where if you get somebody like Bryce, and you probably roll with Bryce, I know I've rolled with Bryce. And I told everybody that last fight that Bryce had, that's what Bryce does.
It's his game.
He doesn't stop. if you roll 5 minutes with Bryce, you're going to roll for 5 minutes.
You gotta watch that Willie episode today for some commentary on the fights.
Oh, I definitely will do that.
It was a good episode, man. And Willie said that, like, do you remember? And I think it was the third round where that guy was like, "Come on, let's stand up." Right? Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, he's talking
yeah. And then Bryce, Willie said, Bryce goes, "No, I'm gonna fuck you right here," or something like that. Like, because that guy talked a lot of shit. Like, "Oh yeah, let's go to the ground." And then he was like, "Oh, why don't you stand up?" And it's like, "Oh no, dude, you're gonna get it right here."
Yeah, so. That's pretty funny. And and Willie's, me and you both view Willie in high regard. Oh, yeah. I remember the first time I ever rode with old Willie. I was a brand new white belt. He tapped me out 5 times in 5 minutes. I get my blue belt, and I've told this story 1,000 times. Like, man, I can't wait to roll with Willie again. I'm a blue belt now. I've got him better. That mofo tapped me out 5 times in 5 minutes. And I got him at purple. He only tapped me out 4 times in 5 minutes. So I'm catching up. I'm closing the gap. Then at Brown, he only got me 3 times. So.
Man, I've rolled with Willie a lot over the years, and it's I haven't got to very much the last 2 or 3 years, and he lives in Wynne, Arkansas now. So yeah,
and it's been good for me because he's I got promoted at my job, and so I'm working in Little Rock now.
Okay.
What I'll do a lot of times is on Monday, Tuesdays, I'll get off work. I'll just jet over to Sherwood and I'll train at Drings. And Willie's been up there a lot on Mondays.
Yeah. See, and that's like once I got out of the for the summer, I wrapped up, turned all my final grades in. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go train with Willie up at Drings. And but he moved like 2 months ago, he said.
Oh wow. So yeah.
He's training at the House MMA Academy. I'm like, dude, Burge Franks doesn't even fucking know what this. I mean, he might, but damn, not he's not gonna appreciate that. Like dude, if Willie's just like, oh, I live in Russellville now, I train here, I would be like, oh shit,
like yeah,
what a godsend that is. Like, right, that dude is so fortunate to have him on those mats. That would be such a great opportunity to be in the same gym with that guy every day.
Some of those Monday classes, I don't know if these kids, that just started jiu-jitsu realize how lucky they are. Because when I first started, at Drings, he was just coming over, and I didn't know it, but he just coming over his bicep, where he'd had his bicep tendon reattached, which I've had done. Mine didn't roll all the way down my arm, but mine's held on by 2 screws. That's an old football injury. That's kind of what, stopped my pro wrestling the first time was I had that shoulder surgery. So Dring was there. I think Paulo was on his way out. They had Brandon. I can't think of Brandon's last name, but he was a blue belt. And that would be pretty much whenever every now and then Dirk would be in class. You're like, holy crap, Dirk's a purple belt. And you'd like, oh, my God, it's a purple belt.
I remember I submitted him a couple of times at brown belt, but it was weird because he choked me unconscious, right? Like this is at Abby and Jory's. He had choked me unconscious. And then I came to, and I was like, okay, let's go again. Because he had hooked me up in a cross choke. I passed his guard, mounted him, and then I went out. And I woke up sitting there, and everybody's like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, all right. I started rolling again immediately, and I caught him twice. So I was just like, hell yeah. Because I was like a blue belt. And it was rare to get to roll with a brown belt. Like I didn't, certainly not something at that time I got to do all the time. Now it's like I get to roll black belts all the time.
And so the last time I went to Drings, and this was just a regular Monday class. So, I self-deprecate a lot, and I'm pretty bad about not giving myself the credit I deserve, I think, because I'm pretty awesome. I'm messing around. But
you are pretty good. Pretty righteous, dude. I mean, look at you here on the podcast.
There you go. So you had me in the brown belt row, and then up front you had Tony, Johnny, Willie, and Dream. So you got 4, legit high-level black belts there. Just a Monday at Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had me. You had a legit brown belt, and so it's weird, how far the game's come. And there's a line of blue belts behind me. I mean, just how far the sport's come in general.
Here's another weird part, man, is we have 5 people about to get promoted to black belt from our school. Cora, Sharpie, Randy Melton, Jeff Woods, and John.
Yeah, I've been saying Brashear's. I knew was close.
Yeah, so like Brashear, and so Sharpie even has a little bit more time than John. Woods has more time than John. Let's see, Cora has just a little bit less time than John, and Randy even, I believe, has him and John are probably about the same. Yeah. But man, all of them are at 8 to 12 years is the span.
Because I think Cora and Thompson both have 2 tips on the blue belt. I mean, not blue, brown. Mm-hmm. I've got 1, so I kind of figured, I figured, I'd planned it in my head, like, okay, next October, is when I was on schedule. So I'm like, well, I got to be sure I save vacation week so I can be at the black belt conference.
Yeah, and I hope that they're gonna, and I'm sure they're gonna do some team promotions at the black belt conference. But like my thing is like I want those people promoted at our school in front of their family and stuff like that. Because you go asking like Jeff Woods, for example, to get promoted in Bentonville. Like if any of his family wanted to see that, yeah, they have family up there, they might go, but it's like the likelihood of it being special on that level goes out the window for most people.
The only thing I told Dring, I said, and I told him this, I said, I'm going to get there eventually. I said, just as important to me to have Snyder there.
He just taught a seminar over at that dude's place.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, you got people that, that touch you through the years, and you don't even realize, and like, I mean, what Dring means to me, what Snyder means to me, what you mean to me, what Johnny mean to me, what Sean Killian means to me.
Yeah.
Because, I went through that divorce and I got really out of shape. I mean, you saw me. I was pushing 4 bills. I could go in there and do stuff, but it was almost embarrassing. And that's part of the reason I didn't like going to Gravitas when I first moved back. Cause man, go to your place, go to Johnny's place, bunch of killers and, bigger schools, a lot of, guys that could go went to Triumph with Sean, and a lot less guys, wasn't as crowded.
What's Sean doing these days?
He's over at 501.
Okay. I'm trying to set up a time with Mark Barber to come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, no, they're great guys, and even though them and Gravitas in the same town, we have a good relationship with each other. And I went over there, trained a few times with Sean. Of course, me and Sean literally went to kindergarten together.
Oh wow!
I went over to my mom's house and I found a picture of Sean from 2nd grade. And I sent it to him. And, Sean had those thick Coke bottle top glasses, thick glasses. And I sent a picture of it to him. And he's like, wow, it was such a good day. But I was like, well, next time I see him, he'll kill me. But, I mean.
I saw him randomly at Morrilton where I work. I was like going down the stairs to get some coffee and he was there because I guess he works at UCA or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what's up? Just like randomly see you here at work.
And I can tell you, if you would have taken my entire graduating class, and me and Sean are both in the class, and they said, okay, if every male in this school got into a fight, who would win? I guarantee you no one would have said Sean Killian.
No one would have said me.
Yeah.
Like I'm same thing. And that's like, but those are the types of people that go on to be lethal, dude.
Yeah. Not saying. Matter of fact, I would venture to say everybody would have probably picked me my senior year in a fight over Sean, and probably picked me in a fight over you. But now look at it all these years later. If I fought you, you would win.
That's like, I tell this story sometimes. The realization I came to, the person I came to that realization on was 135-pound Caleb Plank. I was just like, if I saw that dude walking down the street, I'd whip his ass, And then it was like, but the reality is he would whip my ass at that time, I was just like, it was like maybe less than 6 months into training. And it was like, he was competing and like just training all the time. At that time, I was like, this dude would whip the shit out of me. But yet I would see him and be like, yeah, in a fight against that dude, I'll tell you, I'm going to win.
Well, and you can look, for Dream and Snyder, I would say you can probably look both their eyes and you can realize I don't want any part of this guy. They both have that look about them.
Yeah.
I mean, like just Dream could kill you with his bare hands and he'd sleep that night like a baby. That's his personality.
Yeah, I know. That's a violent man.
I mean, but I can look in that man's eyes and be like, okay, I don't want any part of this guy. I don't want any, me and you, of course, all heard the stories about him about like Misha walking in, Dream's in there hitting his shins with a sledgehammer just to see how it feels,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, a funny story, dude. So like my grandpa, when he was still alive, so this would have been 2012, our grand opening of our very first spot over by the movie theater, right?
I've been there.
The upholstery. Yeah, you came. You were at that. That's the first day I met you.
And then I left to go to homecoming, and I don't remember much after that.
Well, okay, so at one point during the day, my grandpa's sitting over on the bench just chilling out, but Dream takes his collie. He's like giving a big speech, takes his collie stick and hits himself in the shin with it like super hard. And then he does it again, he's like, oh, I have to do it twice for dramatic effect, that way I'm serious. But my grandpa was sitting over there and he's like 91 or something at the time, and he goes, like, this is like literally his jaw dropped, like when Dream hit his shin for a second time, like, this motherfucker is crazy.
Dude, I mean, yeah, he's. And I'll never forget my first class with Dream, and I was probably pushing 380 at the time, and I just started working out again. And, me, former college football player, played there in Russellville at Tech. I don't know if you'd say played. I was on the team. But I mean, I made it through 4 years of college football, so I was looking for something. I got him big, I looking for something. And so, I'm played football since I was in third grade. So I'm conditioned like, hey, go, the guy tells you to run, I go run. So I needed to find something like jiu-jitsu. I needed to find something like martial arts where, I still need to work out on my own, get my workout in, but I got this where I can go and somebody will say, hey, Clint, snake you move down the floor. Forward shrimp, sideline.
Okay.
Forward roll. I can't Granby. I still want Granby. Even in Ranky, if they call Granby's, I just walk to the other end of the mat. I'm like, I can't do these. And they're like, all you got to do is this. I'm like, yeah, I know. I can't do it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, we've been doing the 10th Planet warm-ups, and the whole first set kind of focuses on Granby's, but like one of them's the solo movement section, but how to use them in, they passed your guard. Like, okay, like kind of run out the other direction and throw your legs up and over, So there's like there is some useful stuff in there that I never picked up on my Granby because it was never fucking being taught to me.
Yeah.
And only through like doing the application techniques and the moves. So it's all like, oh, that's why we're doing that stupid fucking move going up and down the mat. Oh, because like check out those 10th Planet warm-ups. Eddie Bravo started a new channel called the 10th Planet Network. And it's the most current version of the warm-ups, but it's him with two guys. They're just being like, hey, the earth is flat and this is how you do the warm-ups.
Oh, speaking of the earth being flat, so I was doing the Austin Open. And first off, I'm going to say this for anybody that's listening. I do not actually believe the earth is flat.
Your Facebook would lead us to believe otherwise.
No, and I troll. Like, I'm not a political man. Like, that's why I post the positive Trump stuff, and then I post something bashing him 5 minutes later. I'm just trying to get a rise out of somebody. So I'm out there doing my match. And I know Ben Caldwell's out there, and I don't know who it was. They were like, hey, you see that guy out there? He's a flat earther. So I got people actually believing I'm a flat earther. The only argument I have for the earth being flat is that water always finds its level. I'm sure I could Google and find more stuff, why people think the earth is flat. And I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but what good does it do the government to lie to us about the earth being flat? I mean, like, real talk. I mean, there's no...
Bro, if I get into this with you, I'll get shadow banned. Okay. We can't.
I'm sorry. We can quit. We can stop.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in person with our iPhones turned off and in another room. Okay.
Right. Yeah. No, I get you. We'll talk about it. So
Yeah,
talk about it face to face. You know,
yeah,
cover the room
the
with
old
foil.
way. Yeah, we'll pass notes back and forth to each other, then we'll burn that. We'll go through the process to burn them,
We
and
got to do what we got to do.
this Eddie Bravo goes off the rails on that one, dude. Apparently, him and Bryce were talking flat Earth the day before the UFC when they were training together.
That's great. I
That's
just
what
think it's
Willie
really
said.
funny. I mean, I just think it's really funny to see people just get so wound up about it. Everyone's like, "Oh no, a cat would have pushed something off." Like, no, it wouldn't. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, oh, man, it's
But it
it's
was
a
really
fun, it's a
funny to
funny
see
thing to
out
be
there, you know.
so big right now. Everybody is arguing about it over the last few years.
It just it's fun. It's just a ridiculous thing because I really and you may think differently. I just don't see where it benefits the government to lie to us about the Earth being flat. It could.
Bro, it would be such a let's work from that point. It would be such a far-fetched thing that like our absolute reality as we know it would not be true.
Yeah.
It's like literally like everything you know about reality, like, oh yes, you are in this petri dish type thing, and there's there is an ice wall and all this crazy shit. It's like, oh man, none of the stuff we think is true about like any of the thoughts it's weird. It's to even try to think about some of the arguments they explain, because I will say, because it was always, if you're watching Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan's podcast, whatever, it was always being thrown in your face. So I did watch that Eric Dubé video once upon a time when it was on YouTube. I think it got taken down. And that's the argument people make, is like anybody can make a YouTube video and lay out a bunch of convincing arguments and even turn off the comments, and it'll get so many views and there's no possibility for refutation, you know?
It is amazing whenever you eliminate someone's differing opinion from, like, I was watching some special on the Hells Angels the other day, and this guy, he's like, well, you can't do this, and basically he's ratting on everything and telling tales that he shouldn't be telling. And I'm like, well, none of the other guys are talking, so of course they're showing it from his point of view. Just
yeah,
you gotta.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm about to have to head to noon class, bro.
Well, cool, man. I'm happy we got to do this.
It's 11:11, bro. Make a wish. We'll wish for another podcast on down the line.
Hey, man. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it a bunch.
Yeah, bro. Well, I hope your elbow recovers. I will say too, I don't know how to treat an elbow you had surgery on, but witch hazel on the incision site is always good. It'll help it heal fast. And then Jeff Woods' elbow tendons are just wrecked right now, but there's this stuff called Max Freeze. It's got arnica in it.
Oh, okay.
It makes the tendons feel good, and Dring's big on that arnica, but I think that could help you with your recovery, because I use topical treatments all the time.
Oh, thanks, bro, man. I appreciate it a bunch.
Yeah, bro. Have a good day.
Have a good one, bro.
See ya.